真白筆一文黒割りのごとくに踏み潰されて死ぬがよい。
見せてその先の力というもの。ブリーチブレイブソウル。
Welcome back to yet another Bleach Brave Souls video, and today we have ourselves a Max Transcended Tech Ichibe. So shout out to Gucci once again, because we did showcase his Senjumaru not too long ago. And this character, I'm glad I finally get the chance to showcase him, because this is definitely going to change my mind, and I'll actually say if he's better than Quincy Ichigo or not, because my mindset is Quincy Ichigo is better than this character, and that if you have a Max Transcended Unohana and a Max Transcended Yama, you pretty much don't need to have this character for Guild Quest, and it's just more so a want than a need in this kind of case, but we'll see if my opinion changes. So yeah, he is a Technique Soul Reaper Squad Zero character with the Soul Reaper and Quincy Killer, and this guy is cracked to brim with the gauge mechanic, and sadly he's only going to be cracked once you get the gauge active, because other than that his base damage is pretty much, you know, a bit lackluster. Basically, look at Halloween Nini for this type of case, and he's just basically a better Halloween Nini, because he at least did pick up the recharge. So once you get the gauge effect activated, you do get your cooldowns reduced by 30%, which is going to help with getting Ichibe's strong attacks back. Now let's just take a look at everything else that he has. Once you activate the gauge, he does gain an additional Frenzy +1 and 100% Berserker. Also comes with some innate abilities of Sprint +1, Long Stride, and is immune to Paralysis. So yeah, I don't think any of the GQs that come into mind, you know, have Paralysis puddles, so this is basically just meant for the upcoming Limit Breaker quest, which is in just a couple of days from now. Anywho, in terms of the rest of the skills, he does have the 70% start gauge skill, just like Bruno, just like Nini. Also has the, you know, recharge, like I stated before, and also has the spiritual pressure boost of 50% once you activate it. Now, the one thing that I noticed is that this guy will not heal his health upon activating, which, honestly speaking, I'm completely okay with that, because if it means that we can keep the recharge, keep the extra SP boost, and the extra damage, I'm willing to sacrifice that, because let's be honest here, this is a character that is entirely reliant on the gauge, because he does have the gauge rampage skill. The way of how it works is every time you kill an enemy with your strong attacks, the gauge also does build up, not just by using the strong attacks alone, but also with taking into account how many enemies you can kill. Only Frenzy +1, Havoc of 20%, Bombardment, Devoter of +5 seconds, Weaken Defense, and Marauder. Keep in mind, this guy has 50% strong attack damage, okay, with Frenzy +1. The damage isn't that crazy good. It's basically 2020 stuff, where, you know, 5th anniversary, Ichigo had, like, Frenzy +1 with 60% Berserker. It's kind of a bit lackluster, but once you get the gauge active, he becomes a god, one of the best characters in the game. And he also is a nuking character, considering he has Bombardment +1 and Weaken Defense. Personally, for me, I would have liked it even better if he picked up increased status element chance. If he had that going for him, it would have, you know, helped out with his base damage as a whole. He only has, what, weakening on his entire kit? Yeah? I think that would have been better, because it would make it easier to pretty much kill out the enemy mobs and just be able to clean out stuff a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? Like, replace the Weakened Defense. Nuking is dead in Guild Quest. You don't need that. You already have Bombardment. But yeah, let's just go and get right into showcasing this character. We're gonna showcase him first in, you know, Inheritance Zone, so that way we can see the best damage output that he can do, and then we'll showcase him in Inheritance Trail. So, roll me the build. Thank you very much. Oh, before I roll that, keep in mind, we are showcasing him at Max Transcended with 500 SP, and the bonus abilities are full stamina, damage boost, and SP, so yeah, you're gonna see the best that you can out of this showcase. Bada beam, bada boom, we have ourselves the badge, tail, D-set, hybrid SAR, SAD links with a crap ton of SP, as you guys can see right here. Yes, sir. That's what I like to see. And the SP, we're rocking 7k SP. That's crazy. All because of the SP bonus ability and the yeah. Oh, Yeah, that's why we have ourselves a max Transcended Chad. Oh, well, not max Transcended, just you know, level 10 SP with 500 SP with the SP bonus ability. Okay, and then the Lynx, what else? Okay, so we have ourselves Flyzen. Soifon definitely has, you know, the 2-star SP. Flyzen, okay, yeah, he's definitely max Transcended, yeah. With the SP bonus ability, just like mine. So, yeah, that's basically the best that you're going to be able to see, even though we just need to, you know, fix up Soifon a bit, but it's okay. Okay, never mind. Soifon is only 4-5 with SP, but it's still good. Like, just being able to hit 7k SP like that, it's just crazy. With us, we're going to be bringing Quincy Ichigo because he does provide an extra 20% strong attack damage to all Technique characters. Also can provide cooldowns when moving in between maps, just like Kilgate. And then Aizen for the boost because, yeah, we don't have a booster character to use on this account, so it is what it is. Let's just get started and see what this Ichibe can do. It's good to see that they made him into an SP character, so let's see if he'll actually change my mind. Alrighty, before starting the actual run, keep in mind that his kit is basically almost the same as Quincy Ichigo, just that instead of the 18% shave, he has the suction book. So, yeah, he also has an SA2, which is a beam, and then a full screen SA3. So, yeah, that's all you guys really need to see from Ichibe now. Let's just get to showcasing him. Boom. And bada bing, bada boom. Alright, not bad. We'll definitely see a big difference once we go into IT and see if we can, you know, get the gauge active at all times. But so far, the recharge is definitely helping out a lot. The main issue that Halloween Nini had beforehand was not being able to get the recharge upon activating the gauge, which in my opinion definitely did hurt her, especially for when it came to using her in Inheritance Trials. In Limit Break Request, she was completely fine. She was very effective, except not against the harder mobs. But here, what I'm seeing is, well, Ichibe is cracked, which is what I like to see. Let's just go and pop the Soul Bomb. Yes, sir. And he just gets stumped. And of course, yeah, he also has Bombardment, and his Soul Bomb is crazy good, too. Alright, and that was the raw damage that he could do, which is pretty good. Actually, I wasn't even paying attention to the numbers, funny enough, so let's just get back into it. I'm just gonna get Aizen's boost. Activate the SA1. Oh, geez, 190k? Did I just see 190k? 82k. Alrighty. Oh, the gauge effect wore off. That's annoying. Oh, we also had Quincy Ichigo backing us up. I can't forget about that. Jesus. Excuse me on that. And the boost is out. Damn. Yeah, he just does 100k just like that. 200k? Bro, the damage he does is stupid. It's insane. It's definitely better than Quincy Ichigo. It just, again, the one issue is, you know, most of this stuff is locked behind the gauge, but look, once we showcase him in IT, that's when I'm finally gonna put all my doubts to rest that this guy's, you know, gonna be the best unit for Technique. But the way of how I see him, he's still fantastic. He's still broken. But if anything, he's anything but meta-defining, just because, I just don't like how most of his good stuff is locked behind the gauge, because the way of how I see it, the gauge mechanic, it needs to be balanced out to the point that you have good, raw base damage they can do when you don't have the gauge active, and then once you have it out and active, you are just stupidly OP for 10 seconds. So, yeah. Now let's see what this guy can do in Inheritance Trials. Here we are in IT, and yeah, setup is exactly the same. That is all you guys really need to see here. We're just gonna go ahead and get right into it, and wait, maybe let's not have Quincy Ichigo in here. I'm gonna disconnect anyways, now that I think about it. What am I worried about? We'll just, you know, get my account kicked out, and there we go. Okay, so here we are. No boost, no Quincy Ichigo, just Ichibe on his own, and yeah. Look at him one-shot. Jesus. He's definitely stronger than Quincy Ichigo once he's you know, with the gauge active, but like the base damage, it's still gonna hurt him. And yeah, look at that. Now we just need to get the gauge active again for, you know, Ichibe to be OP again. But there we go. Obviously at max Transcendence, the base damage is not even gonna be too much of an issue, and as a matter of fact, what Nini was doing before in Limit Breaker Quest, this guy's gonna do even better, just because of the fact that he can get his, you know, strong attacks back upon activating the gauge, and it's not even gonna be that problematic when... Oh, I died. It's not gonna be that problematic when it comes to using him in. Really, bro? You reset my gauge? How dare you, bro? But yeah, the difference between 1.5 and max Transcended is definitely going to be quite noticeable here, so yeah. At the end of the day, I'm still not a fan of the whole concept of having most of the good stuff locked behind the gauge. Now, if this character had Frenzy +2 in base, I would not have been so opposed to the idea, and I would not have been so opposed to the idea if he also had like increased status element chance, because it would just mean being able to... Excuse me, my computer just... It would have meant being able to proc the weakening and be able to kill the enemy mobs with a lot more ease. But in this case, yeah, I can already see a bit of the problems. Do I think that he's the best tech character in the game? Yes and no. He's gonna be fantastic for Guild Quest. He's gonna be fantastic for Limit Breaker Quest. Epic Raids, keep in mind, the Gauge Rampage is never gonna be active. Oh, that's just weird. The Gauge Rampage is never gonna be active in there. And in IT, it's still quite apparent that you still are gonna be using him in base for like 30 to 40% of the time. But yeah, that is Ichibe at max Transcendence, and he easily mopped the floor. Just the fact that we got a near 2-minute clear time on his own, it's quite good. Matter of fact, I need to take away the SP slot just to see how he could do, like as if he were 2. Actually, no. I'm gonna take away both the SP and focus slot and see how much the clear time is gonna be impacted. Just so that way, you know, I can get myself a better idea. Okay, I did get a faster clear time, but that's because I played better. Anywho, I revised the 5-5 run, cleared with 1 minute and 13 seconds, whereas with Ichibe, once I have taken away his SP and focus slot, he cleared with 1 minute and 39 seconds. So yeah, it ain't the worst, but some people are definitely gonna find it a bit annoying how for a bit you're gonna be stuck with some pretty weak damage output until you get the gauge active. So yeah. To end the showcase, we're gonna be bringing him into Ultra Yuha Epic Raid. And this is the setup that we have on him, although I'm going to make one minor change. And it's to pretty much give him the tension tide because we want to be able to nuke out a phase in Yuha. So yeah, this is the ultra difficulty, and yeah, pretty much what we're rocking here. And yeah, same exact links, almost the same exact accessories, and we have the Tosho Familiars, which are going to help us out by a lot. Now here's a bonus in this type of epic raid, so he will have the ×2 damage multiplier, but it's only for this one. Unless he does come back in the future and is featured in a new epic raid or a returning one, but that will all depend. But once we get the gauge active, yeah, he starts cooking. But without it, he does suck. Like, it's very noticeable and it's pretty damn annoying. God damn. Can I not? Had to restart the room, but yeah. It's really annoying how you have to always have the gauge active to do the best possible damage. And in my opinion, it's just not the way to go about it for these types of characters in particular. Like, if you guys ask me, the best example of how to make a gauge character is Uru. Like, come on. That guy already in base had Frenzy +2, 80%, not 8% SP boost. He had increased status element chance, and, what? 40% strong attack damage as a whole. I think he had like 20% Berserker and 20% Berserker plus the speed characters. I don't remember. But like, once you got the gauge activated, you gain 100% Berserker and the recharge. And and he was perfectly fine. The only difference is that, of course, he did not have the start gauge effect like Bruno, Nini, and this Ichibe right here. And yeah, that's basically just about it. And if you guys ask me, Bruno is still currently the best gauge character that we have in the game. Like, just having very high damage output with 100, with like, you know, Frenzy plus 2, 40% Berserker, and then once you get the gauge active, you get the 50% SP boost, 100% Berserker. I feel like that was the perfect example of how to make a gauge character. Just, you know, lacking the increased status element chance, which both Nini, Ichibe, and Bruno don't have. But I felt like those were the right ways to go about making gauge characters, whereas Ichibe and Nini, not my cup of tea, but to each their own at the end of the day. He's still one of the best tech characters that we have in the game. Personally speaking, I think he's tied for #1 between him and Quincy Ichigo. He really is. Just that Quincy Ichigo, he's definitely gonna mop the floor with him in epic grades and Inheritance Trials. No doubt about that. Guild Quest is another type of case, and I think that Ichibe is going to rock in there. He is also going to be the best to use for Limit Breaker Quest because he has a consistently high damage output, and with the Gauge Rampage skill, it's stupidly easy to get that out. So there's just a lot to take into account, but Ichibe is great, and I'm glad that they remade him into an amazing PvE unit, even though I'm not a big fan of how they designed him, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. Thanks again, Gucci, and it was a damn pleasure. And yeah, this has been your brother Dash Smasher, and I hope to see you guys all in the next one. So have a wonderful day, lads. Peace out. Bye. Sayonara.